when fighters got their legacy stolen. Off the bat, we already got the honorable mention, Max versus Gaethje. Max Holloway took Justin Gaethje's title shot away from him, man. Literally an assisted dunk. Right here, I even have the meme, bro. Max Holloway beats Justin Gaethje, Dustin Poirier title shot. And if Justin Gaethje would have beat Max Holloway that day, he would have been on a 3-fight win streak, and it would have been way easier to campaign for a title shot, because everybody knows he is getting hell for even mentioning a title shot. Like, people would say, Justin Gaethje, man, he's only on a 1-fight win streak. But the guy Justin Gaethje finished, KO'd with a head kick, got the title shot because he was coming off of a win. A win. Like I said, a win. 1 fight. Now, I understand this sport is a what have you done for me recently type of sport, right? But Justin Gaethje, as the contender, not the title challenger, because he did lose to Charles in a title fight, but Justin Gaethje as a contender, after the title fight with Charles, he beat Rafael Fiziev, majority decision. Dustin Poirier via head kick KO. And then he stepped up in UFC 300. Do y'all remember the build-up to UFC 300? Everybody was talking about this was supposed to be one of the greatest cards, but it's just falling through. No real fights are happening. And then we had Alex Pereira, the GOAT, coming up same the day. Justin Gaethje. Like, a lot of these fights were pulled together. And in my opinion, even MMA Guru shares this opinion as well. But it's kind of contradictory, him always saying, fuck Justin Gaethje getting a title shot, right? In my opinion, being a company man and stepping up to save an event, or just stepping up in general for the UFC, that should be rewarded. He got his title shot aspiration stolen and then beat Rafael Fiziev again. This is after the Max Holloway fight, right? So he had a chance to right his wrongs, and he did. He came off of another win. He was going to fight Dan Hooker. I think he still could have won that fight, but Dan Hooker pulled out sadly. Fiziev put his hand in the mix, and he got the fight with Justin Gaethje. Lost the fight. Justin Gaethje won, right? So it's like the guy that Justin Gaethje head kicked, KO'd, finished, got the title shot because he was coming off of a win. But whenever Justin Gaethje steps up for an event and does a favor for the UFC won't reward him whenever he righted his wrong by coming off a win of himself. Also having those other fights that he won. Now, I'm not going to sit here and lie to y'all and think like, yeah, man, I really wanted Justin Gaethje to get the title shot against Islam Makhachev. That's just because of stylistic matchup, right? Justin Gaethje, he is a white belt, like guaranteed. He is a white belt in jiu-jitsu. So it wouldn't have conjured up any hype for me at all, or much hype at all. Maybe a little hype, but not really, obviously. But still, saying he doesn't deserve the shot is pretty interesting. And also, Ilia Topuria is a new champion now, bro. We could see some good grappling from Topuria, or just another highlight reel knockout, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, I get it, bro, that Arman Tsarukyan, he was the #1 contender, but he's missed weight, sat out. Like, you can't reward that. Like, are you going to reward that? I mean, I really wish Justin Gaethje versus Paddy had fought to really guarantee who's getting the title shot and justifying the title shot, but rumors are Justin Gaethje is going to fight for the title anyways, and I'm not too mad at it as much as the other MMA creators are. But let's get into the next fighter that got their legacy stolen. Dominick Reyes, man. Obviously the judges took his belt, they stole it, right? But we're talking about like fighters that got their legacy stolen by another fighter. And Jan Blachowicz, man, he started the end of the Reyes era, and he never got crowned the undisputed champion. He should have got crowned against Jon Jones, but we all know how that went. We all know. And when Jon Jones ran from the rematch to quote-unquote bulk up to heavyweight for 3 years, that is, Dominick Reyes versus Jan Blachowicz for the undisputed title was made, and Jan Blachowicz knocked Reyes out, and that started the downfall. Dominick Reyes got finished 3 times back-to-back, man. RIP. He got KO'd in the second round by Jan Blachowicz, got KO'd by spinning elbow from Yuri, everybody remembers that, in round 2 as well, and then got KO'd again in round number 1 by Ryan Spann. But little did we know, a redemption arc was on its way. After getting finished 3 times back-to-back, he got 3 finishes himself back-to-back. Round 1 KO over Dustin Jacoby, round 2 KO over Anthony Smith, and round 1 KO over Nikita Krylov. Now, the title shot seemed so close, yet so far away. Only thing that Dominick Reyes needed to do was get past Carlos Ulberg. Round 1 knockout. God damn, bro. God damn. Took fucking Dominick Reyes redemption arc, bro. I was seeing it live, bro. Pissed. It was a whatever fight, you know what I'm saying? We didn't really get to see that much from either of them, but he did get KO'd, man. Judges took away Dominick Reyes' legacy by not crowning him the undisputed champion. Jan Blachowicz took his legacy by beating him whenever the undisputed championship was on the line. And then, just as we thought, Dominick Reyes, he's back. He's still in the mix. Carlos Ulberg spoils the party. Let's get into Justin Gaethje versus Tony Ferguson. Justin Gaethje took Tony Ferguson's 12-fight win streak and the interim title. And when Tony won the interim title, he was supposed to fight Khabib, but you know what I'm saying, the cursed fight never ended up happening. And since he didn't fight Khabib, he had 3 more fights basically as the interim champion. Even though the interim championship wasn't on the line, he was still winning. And Justin Gaethje didn't just take his 12-fight win streak. He didn't just take the interim title. He took Tony Ferguson's soul. I'm not trying to be too disrespectful, but basically, Tony Ferguson has been on a downward spiral ever since. Loss after loss after loss after loss. But Tony Ferguson has a phenomenal win as of late against Salt Poppy. But yeah, bro, all jokes aside, in that fight, he battered him, until he got like a pity KO, basically, pity TKO, because it just wasn't fair. Justin Gaethje was just beating him bad, beating him senseless, literally senseless, man. He was not in there all the way. That's why the ref eventually had to call it off while Tony was standing, because it was just, yeah, man, he's not defending himself. He is getting beat up. Yeah, and after that fight, Gaethje went on to fight Khabib for the title and got submitted, saying mounted triangle, all that. But Tony never got to fight for the undisputed title. Granted, that fight did get scrapped multiple times. All right, next fight, Max versus Volk. Max, at this time, he was the champion. Crazy win streak as well, man. Was a champion, crazy win streak, had 3 title defenses, and was/is a fan favorite. So when Alexander Volkanovski out-teched Max Holloway, slipping those leg kicks in whenever they mattered, you know what I'm saying? The MMA community didn't really know how to respond because they really like Max Holloway. But here comes, he already had 3 defenses, but here comes Volkanovski starting his reign. Little did they know, bro. Little did they know what was to come. And also, a lot of MMA fans didn't know how to feel about this because it was a very close fight. Because they had very close boxing exchanges, man. I'm telling you, like, Volkanovski would hit Max Holloway would hit him, Holloway would hit him 2 more times, and then Volkanovski hit him 2 more times after that. Like, and then vice versa. Like, that type of stuff would happen. Like, it's a very close fight when it comes to just the boxing. Max Holloway would hit Volkanovski as Volkanovski hits him, like, and then put a leg kick to stamp. Like, Volkanovski really just that was just a crafty performance from Volkanovski, and Volkanovski just pulled the rug out from under Max Holloway when it came to that fight. Also, Max Holloway's corner in between rounds was telling him, yeah, you won that round. Why would you tell your fighter, yeah, you won that round to win this round? I guess, like, oh yeah, give him a confidence boost and stuff like that they're still in the fight. But he knows that, man. And also, if it's a close round, you shouldn't tell your fighter, like, oh, you got that round, you know what I'm saying? Like, and leave it up to the judges. You should be telling them, oh, let's get this next round, you know what I'm saying? And you may be asking yourself, where does Aldo and Conor fit into this? For those who don't know, Aldo was the former featherweight champion, basically the first featherweight champion to ever exist. So for those who don't know, Conor McGregor knocked him out in, I believe, 13 seconds. But before that, Aldo was the reigning featherweight champion, all the way from WEC all the way to the UFC. Just finish after finish, like technical like battles after technical battles. He was a surgeon in the cage, but real talk. And just a legend. He was the original featherweight GOAT. But I mean, everybody knows this, but I'm just letting for, like, say someone who doesn't know MMA, like, talk about this, or just fun to talk about the story. And so boom, he was riding high, that great title fight win streak, and then he gets slept by Conor McGregor in that little amount of time in the first round. And Conor McGregor, where Conor McGregor went off to, he went off to chase double champ status against RDA, but eventually he ended up fighting Eddie Alvarez for the title. But before that, he did fight Nate Diaz. Y'all remember that? Oh, man. I'm joking, of course. I know everybody remembers that, man. What a time, bro. What a time. Obviously, y'all remember that because it's literally one of the biggest fights in the UFC. Everybody remembers that. Conor McGregor, man, you get that money, man. You get the sold-out gates. Everybody's buying the ticket. Fucking half of Ireland's coming with him, bro. It's crazy, yo. Yeah, man, Conor's big money, and if it's a Conor McGregor fight, it's bound to be one of the biggest fights ever. Even proven by statistics, you know what I'm saying? And as soon as he just walked away with a featherweight title. So lineage is very important in the UFC. Like, oh, the older champions and who beat who to get the championship belt, and it's like that's a very interesting part of the fights. And yeah, McGregor did the dash with the lineal featherweight title, and we're gonna get on to Aldo, the former champ, what he did afterwards. But Conor McGregor went up and got the lightweight title after those wars with Nate Diaz, and once he got that lightweight title, he was off. He had the double champ status. He was off to boxing, where he fought Floyd Mayweather. Now let's get into what Jose Aldo has been doing. Since he lost in such devastating fashion in the first round, and McGregor got the title and ran with it to the lightweight division, Jose Aldo was holding it down for the featherweights, and he fought for the title against Frankie Edgar and won it. So King of Rio is back on top of the world, now the undisputed featherweight champion, and the 2-time champ could go on another long reign. And not too long after that, here comes Jose Aldo versus Max Holloway. The new generation of featherweight has begun. Max Holloway KOs Jose Aldo in the 3rd round. KO, TKOs, and the new generation has begun. Max Holloway is starting his title reign. And like I said, he had 3 defenses. Now, just for Volkanovski to come over and sweep the rug out from under him, bro. Like I said, crafty bet. Now let's get into the new generation. Now you're all caught up. And by the way, this isn't modern day new generation, right? Ilya, Lopez, Gene Silva, those guys are the new generation of featherweight. And Evloev, those are the new generation of featherweight, you know what I'm saying? I can't say Lerone Murphy, bro, because he's like the 41-year-old contender, bro. I know he's not 41-year-old, but you know what I'm saying, he was way older than I thought. Alright, but when I refer to the new generation of featherweight, I'm talking about the Max Volkanovski era, you know what I'm saying? Max and Volk era, because it was like at the time, you know what I'm saying? I'm leading the timeline up for y'all, and like I said, I'm not talking about modern day. But by the way, this is peak featherweight lore right here, bro. All right, you're all caught up. Max Holloway won the belt off of Jose Aldo after KOing him twice, and then also defended the belt against Edgar and Ortega. Just as Volkanovski was getting his wins over Chad Mendes and Jose Aldo as a contender, he won against Max Holloway in that first fight. Like I said, close boxing exchanges, the leg kick slipped in when they mattered, and then the second fight, one of the most controversial ones, Max Holloway going crazy with damage, but Volkanovski this was insane, and everybody also knows about Melatonin Gate. Lucas Tracy let us bring this up. The Melatonin Gate Volk, where he got woken up by USADA in the middle of the night, man, and he couldn't go back to sleep. He tried so hard. I'm saying got the melatonin, and supposedly he just drunk as a skunk in the fight. That was verbatim, word for word, exactly what Lucas Tracy was saying, man. I'm telling you, but that's a very true like part of the fight, man. Melatonin, and then he got dropped twice. Yeah, it was crazy. And then you just, last couple rounds, man, you got that, last 3 rounds. Well, now, we're at the trilogy. Max Holloway versus Volkanovski 3. Volkanovski just dominates him. Got that nasty cut over his eye. Out volume, the best volume striker in UFC history. That Volk is a hustler, man. Like, it was so cool seeing him have, like, a chip on his shoulder his whole title reign until that trilogy. He still always does have a chip on his shoulder, you know what I'm saying? But as a champion, man, that whole arc was just insane. That trilogy, man, really put a stamp on it. It's like, no, I am the better fighter. Who does that to Max, man? Who does that to Max Holloway? Fucking literally a trilogy over him. And granted, those, you know what I'm saying, the second fight was a close fight, but dude, a trilogy over Max Holloway, insane. But yeah, man, Max Holloway was riding high with the 3 title defenses, and 2 of those fights being when he got the title, and his first title defense being over Jose Aldo, the original featherweight GOAT. Really great, paving the way for the new generation of featherweight. And then here comes Volkanovski, just to give me that, just took it from him. You know what I'm saying? Got him, ran away with that trilogy, and dominated him in the third fight. You know what I'm saying? It was just insane. And then on top of that, establishing his own legacy outside of Max Holloway, because he already did have that Jose Aldo and Chad Mendes win before he got to fight Max Holloway. He had Max Holloway 3 times. He got TKZ whenever he came back. He got Brian Ortega, which is also Max Holloway's other defense. And I think Volkanovski faced a better version of Brian Ortega. And then also Max Holloway got Yair whenever he went back down to featherweight, whenever Yair was the interim champ. Man, and then now Diego Lopez, and he's a champion again. Like, Volk really just stole Max's legacy of like being the featherweight GOAT. You know what I'm saying? Because we really thought Max Holloway, everybody thought Max Holloway, he was about to be the featherweight GOAT. And I'm saying he was winning, bro. The thing is, he was winning outside of Volkanovski as well. Like, these guys' resumes, man, they're one of the best featherweights of all time. I really have to give props to both, but you know what I'm saying, Volkanovski did take the GOAT status straight from Max Holloway's hands, and you know what I'm saying, especially in their third fight. Alrighty, let's get into our next fight, Charles versus Islam. A lot of people were rooting for Charles, obviously, right? And not just rooting for him because they like him, but because they really thought Charles would win. And he definitely had a chance to win against Islam Makhachev. This is before we knew just how amazing Islam Makhachev was. But we'll get to the Volk fight, you know what I'm saying? That's where we really found out, you know what I'm saying, Islam Makhachev was the same beast but a different animal. But yeah, man, around this time, people were saying Charles Oliveira, man, he's the elite of the elite. Everybody knew about his featherweight run, but now this is the lightweight run of Charles Oliveira. Only 2 losses in the lightweight division at the time. And he was riding a crazy win streak, and basically the champion at the time. The narratives around the time, Charles Oliveira, if it's the grappling match, Charles Oliveira, he just has such a tricky guard, you know what I'm saying, who really knows what could get down there, you know what I'm saying. He has he's a Dagestan kryptonite, you know what I'm saying, he's the anti-Dagestan, you know what I'm saying, and he's just going to get him, man. Whatever way he needs to finish Islam Makhachev, that's exactly what he would do. He also has power in his hands, you know what I'm saying, he could rock Makhachev, he could, basically what Makhachev did to Charles Oliveira, yeah, that was a narrative, like, it was the narrative on the other side of the spectrum. Charles Oliveira fans were like, yeah, man, Charles is going to get him, because he's either going to rock him, submit him, or submit him, you know what I'm saying, and Islam Makhachev ended up negating Charles Oliveira's grappling, and rocking him and submitting him. So, like I said, this is before we knew just how great Islam Makhachev was. And another thing that Islam Makhachev stole from Charles Oliveira, not only was the win streak, not only was the title, but that also legacy-defining win or fight against Volkanovski, the champion. Having another champion on their resume would have boosted Charles Oliveira's legacy so much if they would have fought. And I really think that is an amazing fight even now. Like, I really wish they would have fought. Like, if, say, Volkanovski stayed at lightweight for a little bit, that would have been amazing, bro. If he didn't suffer that KO loss to Islam Makhachev and Volkanovski and Charles Oliveira fight, dude, that dang, bro, like, really, man, that is such an amazing fight. Just think about it now. But at least we still got to be grateful for Islam versus Volk. But, man, Charles versus Volk, literally imagine that, dude. But yeah, it took Charles' win streak and also his lightweight GOAT status. Nobody was thinking Charles was the GOAT at the time, but he was definitely on his way. If he beat Islam Makhachev, he would probably been the GOAT, you know what I'm saying, at the time. And then, especially if he beat Volkanovski. If he beat Islam Makhachev and then Volkanovski, he would have been the definite lightweight GOAT, and that would have been no discussion. Because the lightweight GOAT was Habib at the time, you know what I'm saying. This is before Islam became the lightweight GOAT. If Charles Oliveira had that long streak, then beat Tony Ferguson, and then beat Dustin Poirier, beat Justin Gaethje, like beat Islam Makhachev and beat Volkanovski, he would have definitely been above Habib all time, of course. And this loss for Charles Oliveira, it kind of did prove Islam's and Habib's trash talk kind of right. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, it wasn't right. You know what I'm saying? But talking about, oh, you know what I'm saying, Charles, he's a tapper. He hasn't really fought the elite of the elite when it comes to grappling and stuff like that, man. And Islam was saying like the big mistake Justin and Dustin were making was whenever they heard him not going on the ground. He was saying, "Oh, you're a black belt. Why don't you just go to them on the ground?" And like I said, he is speaking the truth. You know what I'm saying? But he's saying, "Oh, like, oh, he's just sitting there to be finished." It's low key shit talking. It's low key shit talking. I could also put Armin Tsarukyan stealing some of Charles's legacy by him, like, since Charles pulled out, he had to fight Armin for the rematch. So, like, he had to fight Armin Tsarukyan so he can get that rematch with Islam Makhachev, and he just let that fight slip through his hands. Armin Tsarukyan won the fight on paper. But yeah, let's go to DDP versus Hamzat, the next fight, man. This was real middleweight GOAT status on the line. If Dricus Du Plessis beat Hamzat Chimaev, he would have been the middleweight GOAT. No questions asked, bro. No questions asked. He KO'd Robert Whitaker, former champion. He had that close fight when he won the belt. That shot, one of the hardest fights to score against Sean Strickland, right? Very, very hard fight between them two. But he got the belt. And then he defended the belt against Adesanya, finished Adesanya, even though he was losing that fight as well. Dude, bro, Adesanya, man, like, he's so weird, bro. His striking is so weird because, like, dude, when you actually box and open up, you seem to be a good fighter, but he will, especially, like, that's why people say there's a difference between contender Izzy and champion Izzy. Dude, champion Izzy, he just did not open up like that as much as contender Izzy, bro. Like, contender Adesanya is, like, just open up your striking, bro, and he's way, way, way better. Like I said, he was winning that fight against Dricus Du Plessis, but he got finished. And then right after that fight, Dricus Du Plessis put on that masterclass against Sean Strickland, just doing what he wanted and picking Sean Strickland apart. And so if he got at a guy like Hamzat Chimaev to his resume, he would have been the middleweight GOAT. And like I said, if he would have won, it would have had, even if Hamzat lost to DDP, I feel like that win would age better and better. Like, I really, like, obviously hindsight's 2020, I can say this now that knowing that, you know what I'm saying, Hamzat's the middleweight champion right now. But even if he would have lost to DDP, I feel like he would have done some good work in that division, and that would have aged very well. And it would have already been a good win in the first place. But yeah, like I said, if DDP would have won, you know what I'm saying? Which, that was crazy, man. Low-key embarrassed DDP, man. Put a significant skill gap between him and the rest of middleweight. That is, like, literally. I can't even say more. That's literally what it is. Now, we have another fight featuring Max Holloway, man. He was on here 3 times, basically. It's Dustin versus Max, man. Habib double champ fight. He could have fought for the undisputed title. Granted, he could have fought Habib, but the commission stopped him from fighting Habib. But this interim fight, the interim championship fight between him and Dustin Poirier just battered Max Holloway for the whole 5 rounds. You could say, like, oh, this was basically featherweight Holloway, and that's a good asterisk, I guess. You know what I'm saying, a good cope, but that's not, or it's not too much of a cope. You know what I'm saying, like, okay, yeah, it's not real Max Holloway at 155 Max Holloway. You know what I'm saying, the real 155 Max Holloway was him versus Gaethje and then Dustin Poirier the third time. But this fight, man, dude, Dustin Poirier was a murderer, bro. He was going after Max Holloway, bro. Blistering combinations, bro. I'm telling you, literally just busting him up, bro. Especially the first rounds. And people say this was more of a war than it actually was, man. This was domination, especially in the first 3 rounds. But if Max Holloway would have won that fight, he would have been the interim lightweight champion and the lineal featherweight champion, and he could have got the double champ status and on to superstardom from there. But that did not end up happening. Dustin Poirier, like I said, battered him, just beat this dog shit out of Holloway, bro. And it's hard for me to say this because I love all these fighters, so it's kind of hard for me to be too critical and like, oh, you just beat the hell out of him. But like, literally, I'm telling you guys, rewatch that fight. Dustin Poirier was a beast, bro. That was a Dustin Poirier that nobody wanted to mess with, bro. That's like, any striker in that division did not want Dustin Poirier's hands, bro. Shout out Dustin Poirier, man. Shout out Max Holloway, because dude, literally, like, Dustin Poirier was the guy for Holloway. Like, Holloway's known for, oh, the best chin, the best chin. The reason he is known for that was because that Dustin Poirier fight, bro. Because, dude, he was getting bombs landed on him consistently, dude. Holy shit. But yeah, that was the legacy I was talking about, the potential double champ status for Holloway. End of the video. Like my Twitch. Go follow my Twitch. Go follow my subscribe. All this, man. This was a very Frankenstein video because I've been recording this at different time periods. And I mean, at least I hope y'all like it, man, because this has kind of been like a little bit to get through, to be honest. But yeah, like, subscribe, comment, follow the other channel, follow my Twitch, all that. Love y'all.